Hello and welcome to another video presentation. This time we're looking at lip sync in Toon Boom Harmony. So you probably all remember the shame and embarrassment of this video clip, which seemed to be the best version to work with for doing some lip sync to what this character is saying.
I heard what you said.
I heard what you said.
I agree.
And I agree.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. It's a really short clip that then I took into some software, some free software called Handbrake, and that was to make the movie a lot smaller and to remove the color, because you don't need a massive movie to import into Harmony. It's just reference. So I'm changing the resolution to something smaller. It could be even smaller than that, to be honest. So I'm changing the spatial resolution, and also I'm going to knock out all the color as well, because color can make files massive. Then I'm going to go here and I'm going to change the frame rate from 30 frames a second to 24 frames a second, because that's the FPS, or frames per second, in the Harmony project file. So I'm doing this to make sure that, I'm not doing unnecessary drawing for this particular task. Changing the name of the exported movie. Then I'm going to hit the browse button so I know where this file is going to be saved to. This window is blurred on purpose. But yeah, you just save it on your desktop or wherever, USB drive. And then when you're happy with all the settings, you can hit the start, or you can hit a summary to see what the video will look like before it's even exported. So I'm reasonably happy with this. I will regret my choice of black top, as you'll see in the Harmony project in a short while. Okay. So yeah, Handbrake is great transcoding software. It really is. It'll take a massive. The original file wasn't massive. It was 18.7 megabytes, and then the outputted, or the new version of that, the grayscale version, you'll see is quite a bit smaller. So as I click on this, it's actually 2.8 megabytes, which is really small, which is great, and at that resolution. But like I said, it could be even smaller because it's just for reference purposes against time. So once you've got all that sorted, you go to File, in Harmony, Import, Movie. And then you just go and browse to where it is. There it is. Open it. I did time-lapse this import because, yeah. Did you really want to sit there and watch this import? So yeah. So then we go into here. Keep as original bitmap is a faster import. I'm just cropping the name because lav's fine. All those other settings are okay. Hit that. And it just imports really quickly. That was real time, by the way. Now here, I'm hitting the scrub button in the timeline, and that allows you to grab this playhead marker thing and scrub back and forth over the audio so you can actually hear it through headphones. And do use headphones when you do this, because no one else in the room wants to listen to you doing this, I can tell you now. So with there, we can see the sound against time, and that's critical for lip sync. So when this scrubbing sound button is engaged, and you grab this is what it sounds like. Hopefully you can hear this. So this is what you do. You scrub backwards and forwards to see where the sort of the words are happening. and also what things like the face is doing. And that's the main reason I brought this this video reference in here, is so I can look at what my face is doing. And also what my mouth is doing as well. So yeah, you can kind of do that, but you can also just play it in the usual way.
What you said.
So this is what you do. You listen to the audio, and you are listening for the places where the storytelling poses will actually go to try and convey what this character is thinking and feeling, and kind of, you know, how really creepy they are. So I chose to start here. So I've moved the. I could have trimmed this sequence prior to bringing it into harmony. I kind of wish I'd done that, and also I wish I'd worn a different, like a lighter top, but it doesn't matter. I changed the outline color to like a mid sort of blue color, so I can see it over the black. But you know, I've only done 3 drawings of this weird sort of character, of a really simple character I've created, which is kind of like a sausage person. Let me just hide that a minute. So yeah. So what I wanted the character to have their hands kind of apart, and then coming into getting closer together, and then doing this kind of thing here where they're really kind of extra kind of creepy, and I've kind of deviated from the lav work, which is what you do. I wanted to accentuate this kind of leaning in. This is the other reason why I chose a really simple kind of a sausage character, because they naturally lend themselves to a line of action and keeps everything kind of cool. So yeah, this will be quite. I'm not going to in between this, because I don't have enough time, and to be honest, I can't be bothered because I hate in betweening. A shameful admission from an animator, but I've done plenty of this in the past. So you can see the comparison there. I went with that instead, and the head kind of turns slightly away, as if the character is trying to, you know, summon whatever it is they need to say what this. So it makes it might make the character look a bit disconnected, but I wanted like a thinking pose, and I wanted like a less symmetrical or mirrored, or twinning, they sometimes call it, when you've got 2 things that are equidistant and moving at the same time. So I've tried to give it some asymmetry, just to make it look a bit more interesting. So that's just 3 drawings where I'm trying to find some keys. That's more of a breakdown drawing, that one there, actually. And then the character moves into this. But like I said previously, make sure you're wearing headphones when you're doing this, because people in the studio don't want to listen to you doing this coming through the speakers on your computer. So yeah. I might have the character lean the other way again, because I quite like the look of that as well. Not sure about the finger shaking just yet, because I've basically given this character sort of like mitten hands, just to speed things along, because you can easily refine these into fingers if you want them later on.
Heard what you said.
I mean, that mouth, if you look at the mouth in the love work, it's not really closed that much. It's a lot of grinning and smarminess. In America, they call that a shit-eating grin. Just move it along. What's the rest of it like? So yeah, you can actually. It's really good because you can actually see the sound in this, and you can scrub backwards and forward. I might do that. I do like that bit at the end, actually, the thing with the with the hands doing that. But you can see that the lav work is just the basis, and we as animators, creative animators, we don't slavishly just trace the live action, but we actually do something a bit more creative with it and put a bit more thought into it. So if you compare those two poses there, the one I've drawn is different from the lav. So that's what we're striving for. We're striving for something that's better than what the lav has given us. So yeah. So the live action video is just a starting point and not an end in itself. Yeah, I also maxed out the onion skinning so I can see the extent of what I've got so far. So if I move this back to here so I can see all three drawings. And if I zoom in, we can see that the top of the head is following like an arc. So if I just draw this in, so the head is kind of going like this. So yeah, I'm always looking for transitional movement that corresponds to something like, something kind of smooth. There may be some, I might put some accents, or, where the character maybe pops briefly into another pose, but we'll see. I'm not gonna record the whole process of me animating this because it's well tedious. I'll just show the successive stages as they happen. Okay, I'm giving a bit more consideration to actual mouth shapes and lip sync, and I'm still working on the keys. So I've actually changed the keys from what they were. I quite like the way this character slaps their hands together. So we're seeing the mouth close there. So as they clasp their hands together, like this, I want them to go from here to there. See, this in between isn't really a drawing; it's a note. It's saying swing hands through to drawing 143, which is all the way over here. So I want this character to do almost like someone, like as if they're kind of holding a bat and swiping kind of thing. And here in this arrow, if I switch on the onion skinning, this is what I want the hands to follow, this kind of curved path. Just to make it look a bit more interesting, I might make this kind of swing through, go past that point, and then come back and kind of rest into the next drawing that comes after that. So, timing and, where things are being spaced is something that's under review. Let's turn that off a minute. Onion's getting off. So this endless tweaking and messing around. So yeah, this is the drawing I changed. I've decided to so the character's starting to say I. So when it hits the start of the I, I want the character to rise up, and you can see the character rising up quite a bit there to sort of provide a bit of an accent for the I part. So as you can see, it's still a work in progress, and there's a lot more work here to kind of refine this. I've also color coded some of these drawings. So keys, if I do a right click on this, you can actually mark frames and give them a color to remind yourself that they are important and you shouldn't delete them. So red is for more key poses, and blue is more for the breakdowns that get you from one pose to the next. But this is an evolving project and anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you'll just look, the previous drawing to this just didn't feel right. And as I've often told you guys in the studio, if something doesn't feel right, and when you can't really verbalize what it is, but it just doesn't feel right, it probably isn't, and you need to change it. So that's what I did. The original second drawing didn't look right, so I've just changed it for this one. And so on and so forth. I've also held these drawings for longer just to help to carry the motion. This is what you should do anyway. So all this was filled with the same drawing, but I've gotten rid of that. So as I'm, working on this and adding extra drawings, so at some point I'm going to have to change all these, put it where you want to go, hit this button here, which will add an empty frame, which it has done, and extended it automatically. So if I just draw something, I'm on the mouse at the moment. If I draw that now, it's automatically copied to all the other ones. So you can overwrite what's there, just clicking, hitting this, and then it will just fill that space with an empty drawing, with the same drawing actually. So yeah, that's fine. I might just undo that for now. So using notation and putting some timing charts in there, that's probably something I'll do at some point, because I want this character to kind of ease into this pose. So needless to say, these drawings here are going to be a lot closer together as the character eases in or slows into this pose, which is a key pose. And I might linger on that pose and might move it around a bit. I might have him sort of he's got his hands clenched, maybe push the hands into the face so it raises the cheek as if he's almost hugging himself in some weird and creepy way. So yeah, that's the state of play at the moment. I meant to say that if you are at a more advanced stage on a lip sync sequence, and you've had enough of this, you can either hit this, or you can mute this sound layer in the same way that you can turn layers on and off by hitting these eyes. You can also disable or mute this layer if you just want to break from the sound of this as it drills into your soul via your ears. It's a good thing to do. So yeah, I've made some more changes to this as I've been working on it. So I'm trying to keep the proportions of the character on model and keep the facial features tracking well. Because, if I did take this to the cleanup stage, and I'm just not because I don't have time, that helps with that. So the more things you can correct and fix now, the less work there is later on to add another layer, do a neat version of this, and then add color to it using the speed painting feature that this software has. Okay, I've reached another developmental stage where I'm starting to break it down into more drawings, and also I've paused here just to focus on the mouth shape, so the body kind of goes into this pose here and then just stops. It's not going to stop. I just wanted to focus on the mouth shapes just for lip sync purposes. So yeah, let me play this.
I heard what you said, and
so you can see it's got a bit of a jump because this is the original key pose that I threw in. This has moved a bit as well, so this is what you'll find as you work on this. It's just endless tweaking, changing the timing and exposure of drawings. I'm just making sure that, in the case of lip sync, it's actually reasonably frame accurate. So it's a series of endless refinement. Just a quick update. I've decided to reanimate the body of this character and get that working first. I've detached or dragged the faces away from the original drawings just to have them as reference off to the side here, because that's useful. At the moment, I've got the brush tool engaged, but for doing things like selecting things, rather than going back and clicking the select button, you can hold down the command key on the keyboard. It's the buttons right next to on either side of the space bar. So I can draw, but if I hold down command, it turns into the lasso tool, so I can select stuff. Then you can move in, holding down the command key still, and then you can actually drag things and kind of move it around, which is useful. And also, again, keeping it held down, rotate and rescale and everything else. Then let go of it, and then just click off somewhere to deselect it. There you go. Which is really useful. So it's a useful tip. So for the next stage, I'm going to add some in betweens. If I just move this to here, so I'm going to put 3 drawings in this gap here, 3 in betweens, so that it kind of eases into this pose. So the last few will be closer together to get a slight easing in going on, and then when those are drawn, I'll add the arms, so the arms swing through like I said before. Then I'll go back and then redo the face and the eyes, so it goes into this pose here. Okay, so this is iteration 6, I think. So I ended up trashing the keyframe that was over here in favour of the drawing that came immediately before that. But anyway, and this is as far as I've got with it, and to be honest, I think there's enough in evidence of here to show the lip sync process.
I heard what you said,
and I agree. So yeah. So going on from this, I'll probably have the character go up and back to another pose where he does the finger wagging thing, which I quite like, which is this thing here. Oh God, that's so creepy. Let me just hide that. So the lip sync is okay. I mean, there's some more in betweens I could throw in there.
I heard what you said,
so I think I put a blink in there. Did I put a blink in there? Yeah, in the lav work, there's no blink, I noticed, so I'll put one in there.
What you said.
Make sure you choose some audio dialogue that you really like, because you're going to be listening to it a lot when you're doing lip sync, and let me tell you that. So if I had to approach this again, what would I do better? Probably everything. like you guys are my own harshest critic. I think I would have done more thumbnails as preparation for this, to explore some poses based on the lav work, and maybe drawn them up here in the top corner, some little sketches of suitable poses just as a little stick figure. The other way of approaching lip sync, if you just want to have a go at lip sync without all the character animation, you can just draw the mouth shapes up here, and that can be your guide so you can go through the whole sort of track, the audio track, do the lip sync up here as if the character is facing you, but just the mouth, and then you can use that as reference and apply it to the drawings down here, or put that on its own layer so it's there as reference, and then you can turn it off when you're finished applying those mouth shapes to your character. So yeah, so I've adopted a very traditional animation approach to the lip sync for this example. But yeah, it could be refined a lot more, put some more in-betweens in, have it sort of easing in a bit smoother into like this pose here. But yeah, you can fiddle with animation endlessly, as any animator will tell you. So I hope there's been something informative in this example. And if you have any questions, or if you want some help with your own animation practice, you know where to find me. So a quick recap. Analyze your lav footage to see where the best poses are to convey your character's performance. So you saw me doing that. Also, keep your character design simple, because, you know, if you want to do full-on acting animation, then you're going to have to redraw absolutely everything in every single frame. And don't just trace from the video reference, because that's just like, you know, rotoscoping or copying, and anyone can do that. You have to use your creative skills to enhance or, you know, exaggerate what we have here. So you can see here I've deviated from that. So yeah. Also, when you're scrubbing backwards and forwards like this, wear headphones, because like I said, nobody else in the room that you're sharing wants to listen to you doing this. Also, like I said before, you can draw some mouth shapes just to analyze how the mouth's going to work for your character. It also allows you to focus on just that one thing and get the lip sync or the lips synchronized to the audio without having to worry about the character animation. Also, you'll need to do to design some mouth shapes if your character has an elongated mouth like a bird or an alligator or something similar. And don't forget to incorporate animation principles as well. You've seen me using sort of arcs. So we've got two opposing arcs. I had the hands following one arc because I like the look of that, but the head was also had a complementary arc kind of going the other direction. So that to me made this a bit more satisfying to work on, and it looked a bit more interesting with its movement. So the face and the hands are quite close together here, then they part company, and then they sort of come back together again at the end. So yeah, don't forget your animation principles, and also save your work regularly. For this example, I had the auto save feature engaged here, auto save, and set to 3 minutes, so it was saving in the background without me having to worry about it. I also always engage this focus on mouse enter, because one of the things that drives me crazy is having to click in different windows to make them work. Whereas with that engaged, as soon as you move the cursor into the window, it's automatically active without having to click on stuff. So that's it. So yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions, just ask. And I hope you continue to enjoy your animation experience.